everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing the murder case of Elizabeth Barraza. This murder was actually caught on camera in 2019, but to this day remains unsolved. This case that I'm going to be covering today is so haunting, and it's a case that kind of illustrates how safety is just an illusion. We can purchase things to make us feel safer, but are we really safe? The person in this case was a very responsible and careful person, and always aware of their surroundings, always remained vigilant. They had a home surveillance camera, they had an alarm system. They did everything right, and they still ended up being killed. And it's haunting, it's scary, and it's just a case that after you hear about it, it will stay with you. Elizabeth, who went by Liz, was born on June 26, 1989 to parents Bob and Rosemary. She had one older brother. She was born in Illinois, but she's also lived in Missouri, Florida, and Texas. So growing up, Liz loved all things sci-fi and fantasy. She was super into Harry Potter and Star Wars, comic books, things of that nature. As Liz got older, she got super into Comic Cons and cosplaying, and she met her significant other, Sergio, while at college at Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas. Comic Cons and cosplaying became a huge part of Sergio and Liz's relationship. This is something that they really bonded over. They both had a passion for sci-fi and, Star Wars, Harry Potter, all of these things. And Sergio and Liz actually became members of the 501st Legion, which is a Star Wars costuming organization. The 501st has about 10,000 members. It's actually a worldwide organization where they create lifelike, super realistic Star Wars costumes, and they wear them to certain events and things like that. They're very strict, and they have, guidelines about what the costumes have to look like. And, it's more than just a hobby. It really is a way of life for some of these people. Most of the members do dress up as stormtroopers, so I think that's one of the reasons why the 501st Legion's motto is bad guys doing good. They go around doing volunteer work, charity work. They visit hospitals, they visit sick children. I've even seen them attending weddings and things of that nature. Liz was very invested in the charity part of the 501st. She was actually the event coordinator for her community legion. She would often go to her local hospital, Memorial Hermann, to cheer up the sick children. Her dad said that she would dance with them. And Liz is just a really incredible person, and she lived to cheer up kids and to make people happy. Honestly, this just lines up with everything that I have seen and heard about Liz. She truly was an incredible person, just truly compassionate, kind-hearted, always wanting to help people. This is what I've heard, from many different sources. There was nothing not to like about Liz. So Liz graduated from Sam Houston University in 2012, earning a bachelor's degree in psychology. Her and Sergio then got married on February 1st, 2014. Sergio and Liz didn't have children, but they did adopt an adorable dog, and they named him Diesel. And then in 2016, the couple bought their first home in Tomball, Texas, which is a suburb of Houston. And it's a relatively quiet, safe, and a nice neighborhood. Liz and Sergio both had pretty good jobs. They worked full-time. Liz as a data reporter for the Rosen Group, which is a pipeline inspection company. And then Sergio worked in construction. He actually worked for his father installing flooring. In January 2019, Sergio and Liz were coming up on 5 years of marriage. So, 5 years is a big milestone. They wanted to do something to celebrate that. So they had planned a trip to Orlando, Florida to visit Harry Potter World and Universal Studios. And let me tell you, Liz was super, super excited. Days in advance, she already had her suitcase all set to go, which was a Harry Potter suitcase that Sergio had actually got her for Christmas. And she was just over the moon excited about this trip. So they planned to leave for this trip on Sunday, January 27th, 2019. And everything was already paid for. The flights, the theme park tickets, the hotel stay, everything was ready to go. A good month before the trip, Liz started sharing with her mom that she wanted to have a garage sale to save a little bit of spending money for this trip. Universal Studios, Disney, Harry Potter, it's all very expensive. So she just wanted to save up a little bit of extra spending money. Her mom said that they didn't need any more spending money. She said that they had a lot. Actually, she didn't even want to reveal how much money they had saved up, but it was a lot. But she said Liz just she was going to do what she wanted to do. And, maybe there would be some special souvenir that she wanted on top of everything else. So they started planning about a month before to have a garage sale. And then it was about 1 week before the trip that Liz officially decided that she was going to have a garage sale on Friday, January 25th and Saturday, January 26th. So I've actually seen it quite a bit with YouTubers claiming that the garage sale was extremely last minute. Some people have even claimed that Sergio and Liz didn't plan it until literally the night before, but this is just a miscommunication of sorts. This is not true. Liz's mom confirmed that it was about a week in advance that Liz had officially made these plans. Okay, so now I want to kind of jump into the timeline of events leading up to the murder and then the murder itself. So Thursday evening to nighttime, Sergio and Liz put up the garage sale signs announcing that there would be a garage sale the next day, Friday, January 25th, and then Saturday, January 26th as well. It was going to be a 2-day yard sale, and Liz's mom confirmed that this was normal. They would often have garage sales, and they would hold them for 2 days, Fridays and Saturdays. So there were 2 signs that were put out that Thursday night. There was one sign right at the entrance of their neighborhood, and then they put another sign just down the road at Huffsmith Kirkendall. Yes, I think I'm saying that right. I had to look it up. There's no R in that word. Why do we do that? So regarding this garage sale, Liz did not post about it on social media at all. So the only people that we know for sure actually knew about this garage sale was Liz herself, obviously, Sergio, Liz's parents. Sergio believes that his mom knew about it, and then also some of Liz's co-workers. And I'm just going to add that all of Liz's co-workers were at work and accounted for on the day of the murder. Around 2 a.m., there is a black Nissan Frontier truck that is seen on camera driving by Liz and Sergio's house. And then a little after 6 a.m., Liz drives to Starbucks to get a coffee, and then she returns home. So she arrives back home less than 10 minutes later. As soon as Liz returns home, her and Sergio immediately start to bring things out to the driveway, and they set up for the garage sale. They spend about 30 minutes setting things up, and there's, a large array of items, including a treadmill and a stormtrooper helmet. At 6:47 a.m., that black Nissan Frontier that had originally passed by Liz and Sergio's house is captured again on camera, and it drives into the Goddard School parking lot, which is at the front of their subdivision. It sits there for 10 seconds and then it leaves to conceal on a different street. At the same time that this is happening, Sergio leaves for work. And it's important to note that Sergio had two vehicles. He had his own personal truck, and then he would also drive sometimes a white panel van for work. And on this day, he had his white panel van. So the truck was left at work and he had the white van. At 6:51 a.m., the black Nissan Frontier is captured driving towards Liz and Sergio's house. A minute later, they park behind Liz's car, and the unknown person gets out of the truck and starts to walk up Liz's driveway. Liz is still setting some things up on the driveway when this person comes up towards her up the driveway. So Liz says in a very polite and friendly voice, "Good morning." And then this unknown person speaks to her for about 6 seconds. And it's never been confirmed what this person is saying. You know, a lot of YouTubers and people have tried to make out what they're saying. People think they know what they're saying, but nothing's been confirmed. And to be honest, I don't hear anything. You know, the power of suggestion is a real thing. So sometimes when you tell someone what you think you hear, then maybe they'll start to hear that too. I cannot make out anything from the video except Liz saying good morning. That is for sure. The way that Liz says good morning in a very friendly and polite tone, it is speculated that she doesn't know or at least recognize the person who's come up to her in the driveway. But, you know, this really is just an assumption. It's not a fact. But generally, you know, if it was a friend or someone that you might say like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Not, you know, "Good morning," you know, in that kind of like customer service voice. But you never know. It's not 100% fact. After this very brief conversation, this unknown person shoots Liz 3 times in the neck and chest, and then Liz screams and collapses, and she's shot one last time right in the face. After that last shot, the person immediately flees and runs back to their truck. And I just want to clear up one thing really quick. There are a lot of, you know, YouTubers and people who say that Liz was shot only 3 times, but this is not true. There was just a mistake on the police report. She was shot a total of 4 times, and her parents have confirmed this. This entire incident takes only about 30 seconds. At 6:53 a.m., the murderer leaves. A neighbor then calls 911 only like 40 seconds later to report that they have heard 4 gunshots. So while on the phone with 911, this neighbor actually observes the truck leave and come back, and they tell, you know, dispatch that, hey, the truck just came back. And about this time, I think there was 2 or 3 other neighbors that also have called 911 as well. So it's 6:55 a.m. when the truck does a U-turn, re-enters and passes by Liz's house again. And, you know, there's so much speculation about why this truck passes by her house again. Some people think that this person is taking a picture. If this is a hitman or, you know, someone who is hired, then they've taken a picture to confirm that that she is down, or maybe they're driving back around to make sure that she hasn't gotten back up. Or this could just be, you know, they started hearing police response and they're like, crap, I need to find another way out of here. And they're just frantically searching for another exit. At 6:58 a.m., the Harris County Precinct 4 constables arrive on the scene. At 7:19 a.m., the constables, they trigger an alarm when they go into Liz's house to secure it. They have an alarm system, so when the door was opened, it automatically was triggered. Sergio and Liz were both very cautious and careful people, so they, you know, the alarm was going to go off if someone opened that door, and it was just a safety precaution in case anything were to happen. The alarm company calls Liz's parents, I'm assuming they're the emergency contacts, and says, hey, we can't get a hold of Liz, you know, and then immediately Bob and Rosemary got dressed and headed over to Liz's house to see what was going on. At 7:21 a.m., Liz is life flighted to her local hospital, Memorial Hermann. And this is honestly just devastating because this is the same hospital where Liz does her charity work, and she visits with the sick children and tries to cheer them up. And now she's the one, she is alive, but she is in very bad critical condition at this point. At 7:36 a.m., Liz's parents arrive at her house, and then 2 minutes later, Sergio arrives at the house. He is immediately detained and questioned by the police. Obviously, he's the husband. And at 8:02 a.m., Liz's parents leave to head to the hospital. Sergio and his mom arrive at the hospital a little bit later in the afternoon. And then the next day, Saturday, January 26th, Liz is sadly pronounced dead. On Tuesday, January 29th, the trauma team takes Liz for donation. So Liz, being the incredible, amazing person that she is, was an organ donor. And with her passing, she was able to save the lives of 4 people. She donated her heart, her liver, and both kidneys. She also gifted someone eyesight. She was able to donate her corneas. When it comes to the investigation, there were no shell casings left behind at the scene, which led investigators to believe that this person used a revolver. There was no DNA evidence left behind at all. The person didn't take or touch anything. So it's incredibly frustrating. There's no physical evidence at all. This was clearly not a robbery because Liz had $100 in the cash box, which was not touched at all, and none of the items were taken at all. The person just went up there, shot her like they had a job to do, fled, and that was that. This was definitely not a robbery. The killer is seen on camera wearing tall, light-colored or white boots, light-colored or white dress or robe, maybe even a poncho, and possibly a long wig. And some speculate that they're even wearing a costume. The look is kind of like a Star Wars character, or like reminiscent of Princess Leia, but this is not confirmed. It honestly could have just been some person in a bathrobe. It's just like a long, flowy garment. One thing is for sure, and that is that this person is definitely disguising themselves. So costume or not, this person is in some kind of disguise. And due to this disguise, investigators still aren't 100% sure if this is even a male or a female. Detectives are still looking for this 2013 or newer black Nissan Frontier Pro 4X. So they have now announced that this is a Pro 4X model that they are looking for. No one in the neighborhood owns one, and none of the neighbors can even recall ever seeing one in the neighborhood. The general population, is convinced that the killer knew about the garage sale. And while, yes, it is likely that they did, it's likely that they knew she would be outside and vulnerable at this time. This is not a fact. Someone could have just figured that she would be outside to get into her car to go to work, because the garage sale was right around the time that she normally would have been leaving for work. And while they may not have known about the garage sale, I think at the very least they were familiar with Sergio and Liz's work schedules and typical morning routine. So due to the truck being spotted at 2 a.m. scoping out Liz's house, detectives are convinced that this was a premeditated, targeted attack. And of course, Sergio being the husband, he's the first person they're going to want to look at. Investigators got, their phones and their computers. They have not found any evidence of any marital problems, no fighting, no financial problems, no affair on either side. They could not find any evidence pointing to Sergio at all. Many people suspect Sergio because of the timeline. The fact that as soon as he leaves for work, the killer, immediately makes their move. But this person could have just been lying in wait. They could have been concealed on that street, waiting for Sergio to pass by, and then they knew that Liz would be alone and vulnerable, and that's the perfect time to attack. Sergio doesn't have to have been involved in this. If Sergio did hire someone and was behind this, why wouldn't he have wanted to stage it as a robbery gone wrong? Why would he have the person not take the money, not take anything at all? And also, if Sergio were involved, why did the person have to drive by their house at 2 a.m., presumably to check out what Sergio would be driving that day? That doesn't make sense. Wouldn't those details have already been established between them? Or were they driving by for some other purpose? We just don't know. It's also hard for people to get past the fact that Sergio stood to receive a $250,000 life insurance policy that actually doubled to $500,000 in the event of murder. They don't see any other viable suspects, so they're like, $500,000 is a lot of money and could be a very big motive. Another theory in this case is that Liz stumbled across something she shouldn't have as her work as a data reporter, which, I'm sorry, it's just kind of laughable. And she's a data reporter. She's not a secret agent. What could she have found that her work would have had to hire someone to take her out? For me, it's not plausible as a theory. I'm sorry. One theory that I definitely have taken into consideration is that maybe this is an obsessed stalker or, an infatuated acquaintance who maybe she knows them, maybe she doesn't really know them. Maybe they've just met in passing and this person has taken, a liking to her, and it's kind of like, if I can't have you, no one will, that kind of vibe. And that could explain the outfit kind of being like a cosplay or Star Wars vibe to it. And this could make sense. Maybe they found out Liz and Sergio's work schedules, or even by word of mouth found out about the garage sale and wanted to get this done before their big anniversary trip. It's possible. Something about this case that bothers me is the timing of it. This is 2 days before their 5-year anniversary trip. And with the attack being so risky and brazen, you know, people are starting to wake up and be outside, and people are leaving for work. And it almost feels urgent, like this sense of urgency that this person needed to get this done, and they needed to get it done today. And, you know, this anniversary trip was not going to happen. And I mean, hello, this is Texas. I live in Texas. Okay, people love their guns. People are waking up. What if, I mean, it all did happen so quickly, but what if someone was outside? What if someone happened to have a gun and, you know, they come to Liz's defense, or, you know, they hear or see the confrontation and they come over to help and they themselves have a gun? Like, it's just so risky. And I just feel this sense of urgency from this person. I've also considered the fact that maybe wearing this long Star Wars-like garment was maybe like a ruse to get people, especially detectives, to, you know, look in that direction, kind of steer the investigation into, you know, that direction of, oh, like, this is someone from her cosplay or, you know, Comic-Con community, you know, because the first thing you hear about when you read this case is it's kind of like the Star Wars murder. Like, you know, Liz and Sergio, they lived and breathed Star Wars, and then this person in this long flowing cloak-like situation with tall stormtrooper boots is the killer. You know, it's kind of like maybe that's what they wanted people to think, and maybe that's what they wanted people to associate with this case, so that they wouldn't suspect whoever it actually is. It also could be someone dressed in this fashion to kind of mock Liz or take one last final dig at her, you know? I don't know. What do you guys think about the killer's attire? So when it comes to the killer's gender, many people have established that this is a male based off of that 6-second, you know, audio clip of the killer. I don't think that that actually serves as evidence that this is a male. Some women have, you know, deeper, lower voices, or they could be purposely making their voice appear deeper. I just don't think that that in itself is evidence that this is a male for sure. I'll be honest, when I first saw the footage, I immediately thought this was a woman, not even based off of the clothes. I felt like I saw some boobs. Maybe these are moobs, but I feel like I see a chest, you know? And just the body shape in general, and the run, especially the walk and the run, to me, they both seem feminine. But I might be on the outside of this because I know most people believe that this is a man, but I'm not 100% sure. Something is telling me that this really could be a woman. And, you know, I know, especially statistically speaking, this is not definitely, we shouldn't speak in absolutes, but like, obviously, I'm doing it again. I understand why people think it's a man, and yes, it is most likely that it is a man, but I don't know. Also, and I don't know why more people aren't speaking about this, but like, me being a woman, I feel like if another woman approached me while I was setting up my garage sale, I would be kind of put at ease, and I would feel comfortable. I would be okay with that. But if some man in a white cloak and big clunky boots and a wig is coming up at me when my yard sale is not even set up yet, I might be going to run for that alarm that she has set. You know what I mean? Like, that's creepy. Like, if it's a woman, that's one thing, but if this is a man in a wig and some like flowing poncho and these obnoxious boots, I don't know. I might be going to trigger that alarm. And Liz was very safety conscious and very aware of her surroundings. Her parents, you know, in interviews, they stressed the fact that she was very careful, very aware of her surroundings. So I'm feeling like if this was a man in some weird disguise, I don't know, she might have been running to trip that alarm. I don't know. It all happened so fast at the same time. So I don't know. It's a strange thought. And yes, it has been over 5 years since Liz was tragically murdered, but this is not a cold case. Investigators definitely want the public to know that. This is an active case with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. They are pleading for tips and for information. As of today, the reward in this case, so, you know, if you have information that can lead to the arrest and conviction of this person or people responsible for killing Liz, the reward is $50,000. That's a lot of money. That's, you know, that's a hefty bit of money. And that could be yours if you have information in this case. And somebody out there obviously knows what happened to Liz. And in the words of her father, that is 50,000 reasons for someone to come forward and to do the right thing. All of the information that I provided regarding the timeline can be found at www.whokilledlizbarraza.com. This is a website that was created by her parents, and it strictly states the facts of this case. There's no rumors, there's no speculation. It's, you know, minute to minute, hour to hour, the facts in this case. This case sticks with me for many reasons. I love all things sci-fi. I'm really into Harry Potter and Star Wars, just like Liz was. We're both around the same age, and there's just something about Liz that I just feel a connection with her, and I just feel so sad that something so devastating and senseless had to happen to such an amazing person. And I just want to see justice for Liz. Her parents, Bob and Rosemary, they need some semblance of closure. You know, there are many nights where I cannot sleep because I am thinking about this case. So I can only imagine what her parents must be going through. I've never met Liz in my life, and now because of this killer, I never am going to get that chance. But I can't even imagine how her parents must feel. And you know, you can't properly grieve when you don't even know why something like this happened in the first place. They need to be able to grieve, you know? It's unbelievable, and I feel so sorry for them, and we need justice for Liz. We needed it yesterday. We needed it 5 years ago, but now is the time. Like, we need justice for Liz. And to Rosemary and Bob, if you somehow come across my video, I just want you to know how much your daughter has made a difference in this world, and she's still making a difference. You raised an incredible woman, and you should be so proud. She is so loved. She is loved by strangers who never even met her. If you have any piece of information, it doesn't matter how small, if you think it could potentially help in this case, then please reach out to the Harris County Sheriff's Office or leave an anonymous tip with Crimestoppers. But please, even if you think it's just minuscule and it won't matter, maybe it will. So please, if you have any information, reach out to them. I'm going to leave all of the information below of who you can get into contact with. If you'd like to see me cover more cases, then please consider liking this video and subscribing so that I can do that. Bye.